Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rhiannon and today I'm going to be showing you guys all of the books that I bought in November. Now, I have 12 books to show you today, which is a lot more than I was planning to buy, but I did have a few pre-orders come through and I did also use my Waterstones points for a lot of these, so I honestly don't feel too bad about this stack, and I do have some amazing additions in here to show you guys. So without further ado, let's just dive in. This first section is going to focus on the murder mystery books that I bought, and I'm kicking it off with the Twyford Code by Janice Hallett. This is by the same author that wrote The Appeal, which I do have to hand here, and it did end up catching my eye the last time I was at Waterstones, and it was on the buy one get one half price table, so I couldn't just leave it there. I do quickly want to say that these are not related. They are by the same author and they do look very similar, however they are standalone novels, so don't be too alarmed if you've bought the Twyford Code before The Appeal. It honestly doesn't matter. They are two different murder mysteries. They are just written by the same author. Now, I am just going to read you the synopsis for this one because I'm not too sure how else I would describe it to you. Obviously I haven't read this one yet, and so I'm just going to go off what it says on the back. So it says, Edith Twyford was once a world famous children's author, but now her only legacy is the rumoured existence of the Twyford Code, a series of clues hidden in her books leading to what? No one knows, but that hasn't stopped the speculation. Steve Smith can trace nearly all the bad things in his life back to Edith Twyford. As a child, he found one of her books covered in strange symbols. He showed it to his teacher, Miss Eilers, who was convinced it held the key to the code. Within weeks, Miss Eilers had disappeared, and Steve has no idea if she is dead or alive, or if she was right. Now he's determined to find out. But the Twyford Code hides secrets some would do anything to possess, and Steve isn't the only one looking. The race is on to solve the mystery of the century. Can you get there first? Doesn't that just sound amazing? You guys know I love my murder mystery books, and I do also enjoy it when there is a second element to it, such as the codes in this one. This one is also told through mixed media, so as you can see here, we have some audio recordings that have been typed up, and I'm sure in The Appeal as well we had newspaper clippings and things like that, so that is definitely going to be a really cool element throughout this, and it's going to be a fun way to consume the story because that is not something that I see a lot of in these types of books. So I think adding that mixed media element is really fun and gives you more of an insight into the different characters and their frames of mind as well. So this is definitely one that is now high on my list. I did start reading The Appeal a while ago actually. I got up to page 66, so not very far through, but I was thinking I could possibly do a reading vlog for these two books where I obviously read them and give you guys my thoughts, so definitely let me know down below if that is something you'd be interested in. It would definitely encourage me to prioritise these and get through them, and I feel like it's always fun to see what other people think of different books as well, because it gives you an insight into whether you would actually enjoy these or not. The next four books are some that I'm going to group together because they are by the same author following the same character, and they are of course some Agatha Christie books. Now these all follow Poirot, as you can see by the moustache on the top of each of these spines, and we have Peril at End House, Lord Edgware Dies, Murder on the Orient Express, and 3-Act Tragedy. For those of you who don't know, I do collect Agatha Christie's books, and these are the latest books that I did need to add to my collection. I kind of stress bought these because I was on Waterstones looking for the next book because, you know, when I place a Waterstones order I do like to chuck one of these in there. However, I saw that they were reprinting the Miss Marple books. Now the new covers are stunning, but for someone who has been spending a lot of money collecting these specific editions, I was terrified that they were going to do the same to the Poirot books, and so I grabbed 4 of these whilst I could. I do have about 27 I think left that I need to buy, so who knows if I will actually manage that, but I did get these with my Waterstones points, so I didn't technically spend any money on them, and they are books that I of course wanted to add to my collection. My dream is to have a bookshelf full of Agatha Christie's whole collection, which I'm not too far off now. As I mentioned, I've got about 27 Poirot books that I still need to buy, but I have all the Miss Marple and Tommy and Tuppence books, and then I'm slowly going to buy these and get to the rest of Agatha Christie's books as well. But for now, I did just get these 4. They are all murder mystery books in which we follow Detective Hercule Poirot as he is recruited to solve the crime. I absolutely love Poirot. I think he's such a funny main character, and now that I've finished all the books in the Miss Marple series, I'm so excited to dive into the first book of Poirot's, which is the Mysterious Affair at Styles. So that is one that I will be picking up soon, and I can't wait to share my thoughts on it with you guys. But yeah, in the meantime, I did decide to buy these ones, and as I mentioned, they're going to go straight on my shelf in order to fill up my collection a little bit more. And then the last book I have to show you in this category is Breathless by Amy McCulloch. Now this technically isn't a murder mystery, it's classed more as a thriller. This was the Waterstones thriller of the month in November, and you'll know if you watched the reading vlog where I picked this up that I walked into that Waterstones and saw this straight away and just had to pick it up. As soon as I read the little snippet at the back, I was sold and so intrigued. So all it says here is 6 strangers, 1 killer. Journalist Cecily Wong is offered the chance of a lifetime to join an elite team on one of the world's tallest mountains, but from the start things start to fall apart. An unexplained theft, a horrible accident, a terrifying note. There's a murderer on the mountain. 6 strangers set out. How many will return? This is another case of me wanting a murder mystery, but also for it to have a different element to it. I love a survival story, especially one where you're in an isolated setting and there's also a murder, so this was just a perfect pick for me. I have actually forgotten to put it on my December TBR, which is not great. However, this is one that I feel like I will get to pretty soon. I want to read it before Christmas to see whether I want to gift a copy to my mum as well, because she absolutely loves thrillers and I think that this would be one that she would enjoy. So hopefully this is one that I can read soon, and again I will let you guys know my thoughts because I have started filming weekly reading vlogs again. So if you'd like to follow my reading journey and my thoughts on all of these books, please do make sure to check that you are subscribed to my channel, and to make sure that you don't miss an upload from me, you can also click the little notification bell by the subscribe button as well. The next book I have is one of the most stunning books that I think I've ever seen, and it is the collector's edition of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Look at this book, you guys. Look at that foiling. I am just absolutely obsessed. This is a book that I've wanted to own a physical copy of for the longest time. I listened to the audiobook for this originally and just fell in love. I really didn't expect to because it's not something that I would normally go for, but I was just so emotionally invested in all the different characters and it just blew me away as a story. Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing in this as well was just beautiful, and as I mentioned, I just connected to the characters on such a deep level and got so invested in all of their lives that I forgot that they were fictional characters. I wanted to go and research all of them as soon as I finished the book, but unfortunately they are fictional, so I wasn't able to do that. So in this one we follow a famous actress called Evelyn Hugo as she decides to tell her life story. Now everyone is dying to get an exclusive interview with Evelyn, however she shocks everyone by choosing an unknown journalist called Monique. Monique is honestly completely shocked by this. She has no idea why Evelyn chooses her. She is down on her luck at the minute and doesn't really seem like she is in the best of places in terms of her life and her journalism, but she does decide to go over there because this is of course a huge story. It could catapult her career, and so she does go to meet Evelyn to listen to what she has to say. As Evelyn starts to tell her story, she unspools the tale of ruthless ambitions, unexpected friendships, and of course a forbidden love. By listening to all the stories of Evelyn's life, Monique starts to feel a very deep connection to the actress, but as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life does intersect with Monique's in a devastating way. I honestly feel like the synopsis of this book can never do it justice. This is one that you should dive into without really having any expectations of. That is what I did, and as I mentioned, I absolutely loved it. This book has stuck with me since I read it back in 2019. It was a 5-star read and I'm desperate to go back to it, but I'm just not sure if I'm ready emotionally to revisit this story yet. But that is essentially why I bought this one. I've been wanting the paperback for so long, however something was just telling me not to buy it yet, and I think this is why, because this stunning edition was on the way, and yeah, I'm just absolutely obsessed. This would make an amazing Christmas present as well if you'd like to gift this to someone. It was only $16.99 considering it's such a pretty edition, and I do think that this is one that I'm actually going to gift my sister for Christmas as well. So yeah, I'm very very happy to add this to my collection now. It's a stunning edition for a stunning book, and if you can't tell, I would highly recommend this book even if you're not too sure whether you would enjoy it or not. Right, next up we are going to dive into the biggest pile for this haul, which is of course fantasy. Now the first book I have is Princess of Souls by Alexandra Christo, who is the author of To Kill a Kingdom. I didn't actually buy this one. I won it in a Twitter giveaway hosted by Hotkey Books, so thank you so much Hotkey Books for sending this to me. It is a stunning floppy paperback, and I believe that this is actually an ARC copy. Yes, it is. So it says it's an exclusive proof edition. The book is now out. It was out on the 11th of October, but I'm so happy that I have this now because I read To Kill a Kingdom when it first came out. Absolutely loved it. I even went to one of Alexandra Christo's events where I did meet her and I got To Kill a Kingdom signed. So this is definitely one that I have been anticipating. I tried to win a copy at Yalc and was unsuccessful, so it's really cool that I did manage to win a Twitter giveaway. I honestly don't know anything about this book, and all it says on the back is a cursed witch, a reckless soldier, an immortal king. Could you outrun fate? Honestly, I feel like I don't really want to know anything else. I am just wanting to dive straight into this without any expectations so that I am hopefully pleasantly surprised. There is a map on here that definitely intrigues me, and I just think that this is going to be a really good time. As I mentioned, I really enjoyed To Kill a Kingdom. It was a retelling of The Little Mermaid, and I think that this might actually be a retelling of Rapunzel. I might be completely wrong in that because, as I mentioned, there's no blurb. However, I think that was something that was mentioned, but we'll see. Obviously I'll let you guys know more about this book once I have actually read it, but I'm so happy to have this one in my collection now, and it is one that I'm hoping to pick up pretty soon. The next book I have is honestly massive, but it is Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong, and Chloe Gong is the author of the These Violent Delights duology. I read These Violent Delights last year, absolutely loved it. I think I gave it 4 stars, but then I never got to the second book, which is just typical of me, to be honest with you, but it is one that I would like to get to soon. I have put it on a few TBRs this year, but as you may know, I've been in the world's worst reading slump, so I haven't wanted to pick it up. But I did have Chloe Gong's new fantasy book pre-ordered, and as you can see, it is now here. It does say that this is an exclusive edition, but I'm not quite sure what is exclusive about it. Possibly the cover, but let's just check if it's signed, because I don't think it is. No, not from what I can see, so there must be something about the cover. Oh, okay. We do have this design printed onto the book itself, which is definitely a cool touch. This is beautiful, and I'm just obsessed with the pink foiling. You guys know I love my foiling on books, but yeah, this is a pretty cool edition. However, I can't remember a single thing about it. So once again, I am just going to read you the synopsis for this. It says, it's 1931 in Shanghai, and the stage is set for a new decade of intrigue. 4 years ago, Rosalind Lang was brought back from the brink of death, but the experiment that saved her also stopped her from sleeping and aging, and lets her heal from any wound. In short, Rosalind cannot die. Now desperate for redemption for her traitorous past, she uses her abilities as an assassin for her country. But when the Japanese Imperial Army begins its invasion march, Rosalind's mission pivots. A series of murders is causing unrest in Shanghai, and the Japanese are under suspicion. Rosalind's new orders are to infiltrate foreign society and identify the culprits behind the terror plots before more of her people are killed. To reduce suspicion, she must pose as the wife of another nationalist spy, Orion Hong. Although Rosalind finds Orion's cavalier attitude and playboy demeanour infuriating, she is willing to work with him for the greater good. But Orion has an agenda of his own, and Rosalind has secrets that she wants to keep buried. As they both attempt to unravel the conspiracy, the two spies soon find that there are deeper and more horrifying layers to this mystery than they ever imagined. Okay, so this does have a murder mystery element to it as well, which is definitely something that I'm looking forward to reading. Once again, I feel like this is going to be a really good book. As I mentioned, I really enjoyed These Violent Delights by this author, and I do also love the setting of Shanghai. So this is a bit of a mix of everything. It's a historical fiction fantasy murder mystery, which sounds like a lot, but honestly I'm here for it. And again, beautiful book, and I really do hope that I love the story. Next up we have The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, and this is the gorgeous Fairy Loot exclusive edition. So this is what it looks like. Here's the front cover and here is the back. we have artwork printed onto the front of the book itself, as well as artwork printed onto the back, which is something that I haven't really seen before, but I love. We have these gorgeous end pages and these at the back. We also have these really cool stenciled edges, artwork on the reverse of the dust jacket, and it is also signed by the author. So as far as special editions go, this one is pretty amazing. It has so much going on, but all of that together just makes this stunning book, and I'm so glad that I managed to get my hands on this. Unfortunately though, I can't tell you anything about this book because it is a sequel series to the Caraval books by Stephanie Garber, which is a trilogy that I still haven't finished yet. I did want to pre-order this one though because I do have the Fairy Loot edition of Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is the first book in this new sequel trilogy. I want to say it might be a longer series, I'm not too sure, but yeah, when Fairy Loot released this I had to pre-order it and now it's here. So this definitely means that I need to prioritize finishing out the Caraval series so that I can move on to this next series. I have all of the books, I've just been putting it off for some reason, but I am determined to get back into it and finish it off. And then the last two books I have to show you today are both high fantasies. The first of those being The Fall of Numenor by J.R.R. Tolkien. This was another pre-order. It came out in the middle of November, I want to say, and funny story, I did actually order 2 copies of this. I pre-ordered a copy from Waterstones as well as Amazon and just completely forgot that I'd done so. I do only have one here to show you today though because I have now sent the other one back to Amazon because I don't need 2 copies of this book, and it was just a kind of brain fog moment for me where I just completely forgot that I'd already pre-ordered it. But this one is here. It is beautiful, but it does kind of make me sad thinking about Numenor being drowned, especially as we've seen it be brought to life in the Amazon's Lord of the Rings series. So I'm definitely hesitant to dive into this one, but I wanted to add it to my collection and I will of course eventually get to it. Now this one is probably going to have a huge synopsis, yep. Oh, but let me just show you the end pages of this. Look how cool these are, you guys. I absolutely love these. So for this one it says, J.R.R. Tolkien famously described the Second Age of Middle-earth as a dark age, and not very much of its history is or need be told. And for many years, readers had to be content with the tantalising glimpses of it found within the pages of The Lord of the Rings and its appendices, which included the forging of the Rings of Power, the building of the Barad-dûr, and the rise of Sauron and the last alliance of elves and men. It was not until Christopher Tolkien published the Silmarillion after his father's death that a fuller story could be told. Although much of the book's content concerned the first age of Middle-earth, there were at its close 2 key words that revealed the tumultuous events concerning the rise and fall of the island of Numenor and the history of the Rings of Power. Raised out of the Great Sea and gifted to the men of Middle-earth as a reward for aiding the angelic Valar and the elves in the defeat and capture of the Dark Lord Morgoth, Numenor became a seat of influence and wealth. But as the Númenóreans' power increased, the seed of their downfall would inevitably be sown. Even greater insight into the Second Age would be revealed in the subsequent publications, first in Unfinished Tales of Numenor and Middle-earth, then expanded upon in Christopher Tolkien's magisterial 12 volumes The History of Middle-earth, in which he presented and discussed a wealth of further tales written by his father, many in draft form. Now adhering to the timeline of the Tale of Years in the appendices to The Lord of the Rings, editor Brian Sibley has assembled into one comprehensive volume a new chronicle of the Second Age of Middle-earth, told in the words of J.R.R. Tolkien from the various published texts, with new illustrations in watercolour and pencil by the doyen of Tolkien art, Alan Lee. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that. Let me just get you an example. Wow. So this is just a random page that I flicked to, but look at that artwork, you guys. Isn't it just gorgeous? I absolutely love Alan Lee's illustrations. He was such a big part of the Lord of the Rings films as well. So any of these editions that have his work in it, I am just completely sold. They are so special, and you can see that he is so in love with this world as well, which is always nice. So yeah, that is another one that I bought. Honestly though, I don't have any space on my Tolkien shelves currently, so I am gonna have to move them around a bit, but yeah, I'm very happy to have this one now, and it's definitely going to be an interesting and eye-opening read. And then the last book I have is another one that I can't actually talk too much about. That one is Oathbringer Part 2 by Brandon Sanderson, and it is book 3 of the Stormlight Archive. Now, I've only read Elantris and the Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, so I don't know who I thought I was buying all of the books in the Stormlight Archive, lives. But essentially this is a series further down the line of the Cosmere books by Brandon Sanderson that I'm nowhere near ready to get to yet, but they were being released in these editions, and if you've seen some of my previous book hauls you'll know that I have been purchasing these. Now this one was meant to arrive about 3 months ago, however because Waterstones have been moving their storage facilities and things like that, this book was unfortunately late in getting to me. However, it is here now. I have all of the books in the Stormlight archives in this edition now, which again I don't know when I'm going to get to it. I am desperate to carry on with Brandon Sanderson's books, but again I've just been in the Wordsworth reading slump this year, so I haven't really prioritised them. It is a goal of mine though to read one Sanderson book a month in 2023, so hopefully I will get to these ones eventually. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this edition now, and it's so nice to have a matching set. So there we have it, you guys. These are all of the books that I bought in November. It is quite a big stack, but as I mentioned I did use my Waterstones points for a lot of these, and a few of them were pre-orders as well, so honestly I don't feel too bad about it. And as you can see, this is a stack full of stunning editions as well. Please do let me know what you thought of the books in this haul and whether you have read any of them or not. I really do value your guys' opinions, and they do help me decide which books I'm going to prioritise, so if you do have any thoughts please go ahead and comment them now. And if you have made it this far through into the video and would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and comment a book emoji as well. I know I say this all the time, but seeing you guys comment the emoji of the video truly does mean the world to me. So if you have watched this all the way through but don't have anything in particular that you would like to say, please go ahead and leave me a book emoji down below. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video, and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. It truly does mean the world to me, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!